Om Shanti. Welcome to today's episode of Masters of Change. Change is happening all around us and change is inevitable. The harder it will get if we refuse to accept change. So it becomes very easy for us if we accept change and then we grow through it. And to make it easy for us, today we have with us Brother Golu from Germany. Welcome, brother. How are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you. Very good.
You're from Germany, but now since 27 years you're living in Madhuban, so you are a Madhuban Nivasi now. Madhuban in Mount Abu.
Yeah, when I came in contact with the Brahma Kumaris in 84, I could not imagine that I will sort of end up in India. But somehow it happened when I came first time to India in 85. It was very interesting because it was like feeling coming home.
Oh.
And as a small child, I had the funny feeling that I'm born in the wrong time, in the wrong country, with the wrong parents. So I went to my mom and said, what went wrong? And of course, my mom thought I'm crazy because she said, everything is all right. Mm-hmm. And when I came to India, I could feel that feeling home, feeling secure, you know. And those days, India was quite different. Even Delhi was a very peaceful, calm city, you know, very less traffic, a lot of bicycle rickshaws and so on. Yeah. And I went first to Bazaar and I felt coming home. And then I came to Mount Abu and was overwhelming feeling of belonging and coming back home, you know. So it was quite interesting coming back to India.
Yeah. What was the reason that you came to India for work?
No, see, I joined BK, I took the course in 84 and then 85, first time you come to meet the seniors, to meet Baba's program and so on and take spiritual experience.
Right.
So it was basically this coming as a first timer of become a Brahma Kumar, first timer coming to India.
Right.
And it was a very special experience, you know, like everything was new and was not new in a way, you know, it was something fresh, but it was also imprinted in an old memory. And that's the concept also of reincarnation, that you might have been at some places in a life before and you just touch base.
Yeah, yeah. So let's rewind and let's ask you that how did the meditation journey start? How did you take the course? Were you religious from the start or did spirituality come natural to you?
Actually, I'm grown up in a religious family. My mother, she was quite active in the church and I was with the Christian Boy Scouts, you know. Oh. We were not that much interested in the Christian stuff. We were more interested to go in the forest and do camping and mischief, you know, like all the youngsters. Yeah. But we were sort of brought up, I would say, with high morals and values and ethics. And when I was about 15, 16, I thought there must be some deeper purpose in life. I always thought something is behind it. And I felt also that the world is heading in a bad direction. In those days, we had something called acid rain in Germany in the 80s. Because of all the soot from the power stations, the rain became a little bit acidity and harmed the trees and the forest. So people were concerned about nature. Yeah. And at the same time, there was Cold War going on. Yeah. And Germany was still divided in East and West. And we had a big army in the East and big army in the West. And they were all confronting each other. So it was like a feeling of something may happen. Yeah. You know, so I thought there must be a way out and there must be some hidden secret somewhere and some supreme teacher must be somewhere. So I started searching and when I was then I completed high school. Then when I was 19, I went to Jamaica on a you know, getting out of youth traveling, going somewhere. Came back and started an apprenticeship as a builder. And like an engineering education. And in the middle of that, then I started searching for truth, for supreme teacher. And suddenly I came in contact with the Brahma Kumaris. Wow. And made the course. And then after 1 year came to Madhuban. And, you know, that's how it all started.
Oh, nice. So you've also been an advisor of solar energy to BKs since a long time now. You started solar power here. So let us through that journey. I mean, how it all started, how did you feel the need for it? And
in the beginning, of course, you're attracted by the spirituality and by finding the supreme being God and being attracted to the idea of a cyclicity of time and that a beautiful new age is coming. That was like the big attraction in the beginning, which actually brought me into the Brahma Kumaris. And then after some time, you think, okay, what can I do? You know, practically in terms of service, and how can I help the community or the people around us. And when you come to India, you see deforestation going on and the poverty also of the people. And I thought, okay, what can be done? And I thought, why not bring renewable energies here to the Brahma Kumaris? And we brought some small solar cells in the beginning, or some solar toys, like a car with a solar plate which drives by itself with a battery. And everybody was very interested in how these things work and function. And then slowly, we set up a small solar system. Then I came in contact with the German government, and we did a small research project with the German Development Agency, GIZ. And when we got this Gyan Sarovar complex, our Daddy Prakashmani was asking, Daddy Komaka was asking, every country should build a little house. So I said, why not? And I came in contact with a German engineer, an architect, and I built a little house called Solar House backside in Gyan Sarovar. That's the first building, and then another building, that's the Golden Meditation Dome. This was the second building in Gyan Sarovar. And then I started living here, and then I thought, okay, let's bring solar technology to this coming up campus here. So we built a solar steam cooking system, which provides 600 kilogram of steam every day. And we supply that steam to the kitchen. So your food is probably partly cooked by the energy of sun. Wow. By the way, the system is now being replaced. It's 27 years old, and we are right now in the middle of planning and procurement and all this. And very, very soon we have to demolish and build a new one. So we started to bring solar technology to the Brahma Kumaris, and for the institution on larger scale, then we set up 5 kilowatt systems for the centers with the help of the Australian government. And then we got more funding from the German government, and we set up 200 kilowatt system in Om Shanti Retreat Center, then big solar steam cooking system in Shantivan. Wow. And then India One solar power station, a 1 megawatt solar thermal power station in Shantivan also, where we got funding from the German government and from the Indian government. It was an 80 crores project, so massively big, and took us 10 years from the idea until completion, so it took quite a long time. Right. So we started all these activities in order to develop technology, share it also with other people, and also bring benefit to the institution, and to demonstrate that a clean mind also means to use technology in an efficient and clean way, in a clean manner. Right. And so it was very important for us to demonstrate that also practically. And we have also created an environmental initiative, and I go to the UN climate conferences. I was just in December in Sharm el-Sheikh. And we have been since Copenhagen to the last 10 climate conferences, or 12 conferences. And people are amazed. We are a spiritual organization, but we're also one of the biggest institutional user of solar energy in India, and we are a recognized research center with the government. So people are amazed that we're doing these things also practically. Right. So it's a very good combination on one side to be spiritual, live in harmony with the spiritual laws, and parallel to that, live in harmony with nature. Environment. And in the environment. Become a protector also of the environment. So that's a very nice combination, and I like very much to work in that field.
Yeah, that's the true meaning of being spiritual, isn't it?
Sort of, yeah.
Well, you live in harmony with the environment, because the environment has given us so much. It's only if we can give it back, then it's...
Well, it's so to say, it's the platform on which we are living, and if we destroy it, we're sort of cutting the tree, the branch on which we're sitting ourselves right at the moment, The news from the climate front are not very good, and I just had a discussion with a friend here. We had this sudden heat phase just 3 days ago. Suddenly the weather flipped. Normally you have in February, March, you have this transition period towards the spring, and then the summer kicks in somewhere in March. But just a couple of days ago, it just made cling, and we had 28, 30 degrees in daytime here in Mount Abu, which is pretty high for this time of the year. So that's also part of climate change now.
Correct. Do you think we are heading in the right direction, though, in terms of saving the climate?
Saving the climate, well, the latest news are not so encouraging in terms of battling climate change. Climate change is happening already, and we are supposed to reduce in a very big way our carbon emissions within the next years. But right now the global trend is upwards. Yeah. So it means all the countries, they say, oh yeah, we need a bit more coal, we need a bit more this, we need a bit more that. We do some solar, but it's not enough to shift the trend. In addition, we have now this war going on between Ukraine and Russia, and so a lot of investment, a lot of funds are diverted into this war effort, and they are missing then on the renewable energy, on this transition towards clean technology. So right now it doesn't look that bright, and UN president gives warnings, the scientists are giving warning, they say, hey, we have only a couple of years, otherwise it will be very difficult to avoid almost the collapse of our civilization. So, as you said rightly in the introduction, we are in a very high-speed transformation, and everything is shaken, and the foundation of the world has to be scrutinized, and what is not sustainable, what is not right, what is not good, what is not just, that has to go and has to transform. So that we can see right now.
Correct. And also you mentioned that you were in contact with Prakash Mani Dadi and all the senior Dadis also. You came so early to Madhuban. So if you can share some experiences that you have had with them, which you remember.
One time for our solar project with Dadi Janki, I said to Dadi, I have some problems. There is no money and we have a big bunch of bills, and account department says we don't have money, and Dadi smiled and says, don't worry, Dadi will help. And she helped. She organized some funds, and a week later account department called me and says, bring the bills, we can pay to you. So I had this kind of experience. I had also subtle experiences that I had problems in some projects, and Dadi says she will send Sakash, means energy in the morning, and at 4 o'clock I just felt this boost of energy. So Dadis were so powerful. Their drishti and their vision and their mindset was so strong that they really had a visible impact into situations, and they could resolve it just by their vision. I had many times this experience, very sweet experiences also. One time we went to Baba's room, and Dadi Kumaka, a small group like 5 foreigners, and we were sitting in Baba's room in Pandav Bhavan, and then Dadi said, you see, and on this bed, Brahma Baba was sitting, and then she was sitting like Brahma Baba, and then she said, and I was going in front of him, and then she took one foreigner, and I took the hand of Baba, and then Baba left the body, and she played for us the whole scene, and we were all like, and suddenly the atmosphere changed, and it was like life scene, we saw Dadi was there, and she said, and I was sitting holding Brahma Baba's hands, and he left the body, and suddenly the body was gone, the soul was gone, and I had the hands of a corpse. It's quite amazing experience. Yeah. So if you're lucky and you come early, you had this kind of interactions, many beautiful interactions also with Bab Dada, so many nice messages and meetings, and I feel very fortunate that I came in the mid-80s first time,
right? Because
in those days Brahma Kumaris was like a small family, and you came to Madhuban, to the courtyard, and there were like 2, 3, 4, 5 Dadis sitting there, or Dada Vishwarata, Anand Kishore, Babuji, they were just sitting there, hello, and they were knowing you after some time, and by name, it was more very, very familiar,
Right.
Now Brahma Kumaris has expanded beyond what we could imagine. Yeah. We're now quite a big organization, and so many people are there,
And what did you think made them so strong, Dadis, and the lifestyle that why can't we do such a thing? Like if we want,
we can do such a thing, but in the days of the Dadis, they were learning also to renunciate the old world. And they were going through quite rigorous times, when the Yagya was formed, it was just the end of the Second World War. So there was a lot of disruption. Many families, they left what was then Pakistan. And so the world was in quite a turmoil. So Dadis learned to detach themselves from the world, and they had a long time of tapasya, where they just did meditation and a lot of experience. And Baba said in the beginning, the system was in such a way that many souls had visions, and they went in trance. and something which is very, very convincing is if you see it or you experience it. That's most convincing, It's much more than words or books or anything. Experience is number one. And they had a lot of practical experiences, they were granted.
Yeah.
And that made them strong. And it was a small, compact family, of many, many seniors, of many powerful souls together with Brahma Baba. And then they all together moved from then Pakistan to here, to Mount Abu.
Yeah.
And they went through quite some time when the money was a bit tight and this and that, and it all brought them very close together. So that made them all strong, and they were Tapasvis, they were renunciates, and they were Paka, they were convinced, they had faith.
Yeah.
And all that combination makes you actually strong. And Baba said what happened in the beginning will also happen towards the end. And if we look now in the world, but we look also into the Yagya, we can see that we're in a transition period also in the Yagya. Baba's program has ended. Many seniors have left us, and we're expanding, and we do a lot of service and programs like internet, films, social media, and so many programs are going on. And parallel to that, you can also see that there's a new interest, a renewal for meditation and for deep experience and spirituality. And I personally, I always like very much to go evening meditation in History Hall. That's my favorite time. And I can feel like the atmosphere is building up. Some huge power is there. And it's now the time to tap into that reservoir and make us also equally strong as that souls in the beginning. Because after all, now we're coming into this time of transformation. And we come into the time when the foundation of the world will be tested. So it's a very interesting time, a very challenging time. But the beauty is challenge always creates the best.
Correct.
It brings the best up in all of us.
Correct. So interesting to hear all that. And you've also started a program called Yogis for Future. If you can share some details about that.
When we were at the climate conference, over the many, many years, we could feel that people are getting dissatisfied with intellectual reasoning and research papers and concept ideas and this and that and this and that, because it's so much is there, Imagine you come there, it goes for 2 weeks, the conference, 30,000 people come, and every day you have 200 to 300 programs. It's like
too intense.
It's unbelievable. Yeah. And wherever you go, there's a makeshift studio. Yeah. People are interviewing, it's going live stream, it's like unbelievable. There are 3,000 people from the press, and every station has a studio there. Oh. And everybody walks around and wants to interview people. So it's like a total circus, and you're and you don't know, and you get information overload. It's just like it's getting too much. And so we could feel there's a need for experience and for silence and for reflection and for a way out into a space where you are safe and secure. So we thought what can be done, and we thought people should have the ability or an easy method to have an experience. So we looked a little bit, and Brahma Kumaris is present in a lot of channels, multimedia and so on, and social media. We're very, very present. But our meditation commentaries, they are scattered. Some are in America, some are in Australia, some are in London, and some are copyright, some are on CD, some are as an MP3, but they're all somewhere here or there. So we thought, why not bring them on one platform? So we created one platform called Yogis for Future, and we uploaded approximately 150 meditation commentaries. And they are a bit in continuation what we do with the Brahma Kumaris Environmental Initiative, where we encourage people to strengthen the inner side, build up inner resilience, create power, strength, love, peace, compassion for the self, but then also for the world. So we categorized these meditations in 10 topics, like meditation for the world. You give good thoughts and intention for nature, for the trees.
It's guided meditation.
Yeah, it's guided meditation with soft music and still pictures. But a bit neutral, so everybody can accept it, just to give them an experience, to bring them in the proper mindset. There's meditations for the self, for inner peace, meditation for relation, it's a big issue. You know, like nowadays, so many people have problems in relation, in family, or at work. Meditation for peace, very important topic in the current world scenario. And so we have all these different topics, and people just click, and they can have a 6 minutes. We kept it short, 5 to 7 minutes. They can have this experience, and they can do that in the morning, and they charge themselves in the morning and put themselves in a certain mindset. And from personal experience, I can say, if you meditate in the morning, the day is different. You know? It's peaceful, it's relaxed, and sometimes you can steer through the day. You can overcome problems more easy or challenges more easy, because in the morning you lay the foundation. So we try to help people to have that experience. So we set up that platform, and usually at the UN conferences we are distributing these little bookmarks, and we give this to the people. It's all free. And we are also on Facebook and Instagram. And
I'd definitely love to try it.
Yeah, and we try to, to give them an opportunity, because we could feel the need is rising for experience-oriented approach.
And many times I've seen people who meditate, they do it for the mind, because meditation is for the mind. They tend to neglect the body. So do you think that that's right? Because the physical aspect is as important as mental aspect, and people should do something physically also.
You see, it's quite an interesting question, because 3 days ago I booked my 2 weeks stint in Bangalore at the Nature Cure Institute. And sometimes I go there, not every year, but I go there occasionally. And I do fasting, I do hatha yoga, I do exercises and so on. And I'm still believe that it's important to keep the body healthy, to keep the body young as much as you can, and to look also into your diet. I feel this is very, very important, because after all, we all want to become angels. So an angel has to be light, an angel has to be flexible, and an angel has to be also powerful. And to bring that transformation into your mind, where you get rid of the karma of the past, is not going like to your auntie's home. It's quite a challenge, because you start dealing with traumata, events of this life, but also of previous life, which you have recorded, and the life before, and so on, and so on, and so on, long chain of events. So you have accumulated in your vibrational angelic body the experience and the information of many, many, many activities and actions, good and bad ones, of the past. Now, in order to fly, you have to get rid of the weight. You have to shed weight, so the soul can start flying again, and sort of you can unfold your wings and start flying. So I believe it's important also to keep the body healthy, because it's a challenge for the mind, but also for the body to undergo that transformation. Because sometimes also some sickness comes up because you settle karma, or you have an accident. I had a couple of accidents, So if you have a healthy body, you are in a better position to recover,
correct,
and to overcome and to transform. For example, I had Corona, and I was vaccinated. I was here in India when the whole story started, full lockdown. So I went back to Germany, I came, I got vaccinated, then I got Corona one time. And I went to my doctor, and he checked my blood, and he says, I cannot see anything, you're top fit. Because of looking at the diet, and doing a bit exercises. I have also a bicycle, an electrical bicycle, and I go to Pandavaran for meditation. So I do a bit cycling every day also, so that all keeps me fit. And I feel that's very important to keep a balance.
Correct.
Because it's a journey, and it's very helpful if the body is fit. Very helpful.
Correct. What, according to you, is the best time to meditate?
Well, I have my best meditations usually in the evening. I go, as I said, I like to go to History Hall, but I think Amrit Vela is also very important. At the moment, my special effort is to make my Amrit Vela as powerful as the evening meditation, which is a challenge for me. I think if you prepare the morning right, the whole day will be good, and it's the foundation. So I think both evening and morning is important, and then start in between traffic control and sort of make this experience, this I would say spiritual mindset, try to make it permanent, that the whole day you are in that peaceful, relaxed, detached observer state. of the meditation.
For the viewers, Traffic Control is an app that the Brahma Kumaris have. So it stops every hour?
Every hour approximately. We hear the music and then for 3 minutes and then we sort of meditate. And okay, even if you're in activity, just a reminder that you're a soul and a peaceful being, and it helps quite a lot to stay in a meditative mindset throughout the day.
Right, it helps.
Yeah.
Okay. And you talked about karmic accounts, like we are carrying karmas from our past lives as well. That's very intriguing. How does that work? If we create some karma today, suppose we leave this body, so we take karmas in our next birth, then how does that happen?
Well, as I said, as my understanding is that we sort of store or imprint all the actions, all the activities which we carry out of the past in our angelic, energetic, subtle body. And some people are shining, some people are less shining, and it's stored in vibration. And in meditation, what you're trying to do is you connect to the Supreme Being, to the light, and you allow the light slowly to come into you. And sometimes then it's stuck here, or it's stuck here. It's not, the energy is not flowing through you because of your karma, because you have blockages. You cannot experience the divine light in full strength because you block it still, because of having this karmical accounts or this mismatching vibration in your energetic body. So now the art is that you become aware, and through directed, that you create that mindset that you say, okay, I give the karma to the light, and I'm dissolving my karma, and I become free of the karma of the past. I become light. That you work with such thought patterns, with such concepts, and slowly the light, meditation by meditation, more and more comes into your angelic body, and you can feel how the overall atmosphere or vibration of your angelic body is rising.
Yeah.
And that is called the cleansing process, or burning of the old sins, you can say. And then slowly the soul becomes lighter, and then the meditation becomes deeper. And then after some time you're able to experience also the bodiless stage, where you almost forget that this body exists, and you're just in this realm of power, of vibration, of light.
Right.
So it's like a process, and it takes a bit of time, but it's fundamental for the progress, for the spiritual progress.
Correct. If someone is trying to meditate, say in the morning they get up at 4:30, before sitting for meditation, is there any prior thing that they can do? Is there any prior thing so that they have a nice experience in their meditation?
Well, see, I take cold water and splash it in my face, so that I wake up.
Yeah.
Some people, they make a walk, some people take a shower. It depends a little bit. Some people are very tired, some people are very fresh.
Yeah.
So it depends a little bit, but I usually take a bit water to help to really get up, because in the morning one is really sort of sleepy. And that's a bit the opposite state in meditation. In meditation, you try to be alert, and you try to concentrate, and you try to focus to the light,
right,
to the higher vibrations. And in sleep, you're in the opposite state of mind, mostly. So it's a bit of an art to shake off that sleeping part, and freshen up so you're in the right mindset. And as I said, people are different. Everybody starts different. Some people drink a chai and they need it, or a coffee.
And do you travel back to Germany often?
Yeah, once a year I go usually to Germany in May, end of May, and come back August or September. I'm president of a charitable trust in Germany called India Care. We help the global hospital, brought a lot of equipment for the hospital, but we also support scientific projects in India. So a lot of solar activity. I use this trust to help bring technology from Europe, from Germany to India, initiate research projects, and so on. So for that purpose, I have to go every year.
Yeah.
We have to do board meeting, trustees election, and all this legal stuff. And so I have to be present there personally. And then I also tour in Europe and just do some programs on environment or on meditation or on peace. It's all big topics right now,
Correct.
In Germany, the understanding of climate change is quite developed, and people are really concerned about the state of nature.
Yeah.
And last year I was touring a bit in the Alps, and left and right side the mountains get brown. The trees are dying. Normally it should be super green, everything should be fine, but the trees are dying. because no more rain in summer. It just stops raining, which never happened before. We had always, every 2-3 weeks, we had good rains, the river's always full, even in top summer. But now, through climate change, everything is changing. And so people are concerned because they see that. For the farmers also, like the crop which was working some years ago is not working now, so they have to change, they have to adapt. So it's big changes going on, People are worried, because they don't know what the future will bring,
Let's be hopeful.
Well, in Brahma Kumaris, we're very hopeful. We believe that a Satyug is coming and that we're going through a transformative process. So members of Brahma Kumaris have a positive vision of the future, albeit that we're going through a transformation process, and that what is not sustainable or what is unjust, that will be just chucked out. So it will be sometimes maybe a bit bumpy. It depends a bit, again, on the state of your karma. If you get rid of all your karma, it will be like flying into the golden light. If you have a lot of karma, it might be quite the opposite experience.
Yeah. It was a pleasure talking to you, brother. I mean, there is a lot to talk about, but the time only permits us this much. I'm sure we'll sit and we'll talk about more things in future. And it was a pleasure you taking out time for us and sharing all these details.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Om Shanti.